Hey everyone, in this video we're going to talk about the Bitumio Map feature and how you can use it to measure areas, measure distances, linear feet, and so forth. I can get to the maps by selecting here, or I can go into a proposal and use the maps. I'm going to go into the proposal just because there are a couple additional items in the proposal that I would like to show you. So let's jump right in. All right, I'm in a proposal. I've got a milling item here. I've entered a job size, but I'm still gonna go ahead and click measure on map. And here's the area that I'm going to be working on. So we're gonna be working on this street here, okay? We're gonna come in here, we're gonna mill this out. So I've got a couple items here. In different types of products, we're gonna have different types of measurements. Here I'm in a milling measurement, so I'm gonna be able to measure by area and add a map marker that I can give names to, do call outs, and so forth. If I was in a crack seal item, I can measure by linear feet. If I'm in a curb and gutter, that's linear feet. If I'm in seal coat, measure area, and so forth. But a lot of these features are gonna work the exact same way. One is just measuring distance, one is measuring area. So I'll talk about both of them, and most of it's going to behave the same exact way. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on measure area. Now I have the option to change colors of said area and go green and go red. Let's just go with the blue here, okay? So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to start measuring this area. Now the limiting factor of any map measuring tool, whether it's us, GoIPave, which is now Property Intel, Measure Map Pro, is how accurately you're clicking these lines. All of us are honestly very, very, very accurate. It just depends on where you place your dots and how accurate you want to be measuring. So with that said, I realize I'm not getting too crazy accurate here. I just want to show you some measurements, okay? So here we go, boom. We have our area, 12,000 linear feet is what our measurement is. Okay, so now we're gonna do a couple things here. I'm gonna click on this, and over here, we now have a name box and a line length box. If I click out of this, notice they go away, but I can click on this, and now I can give this a name. So let's call this asphalt milling, okay? So now blue with blue, notice the blue outline of this box matches the blue outline of that box, and we have our asphalt milling line item. Now if I do measure area here, and I'm going to change this to yellow. Well, now let's zoom in, and we can do something like this. I'm intentionally leaving that island in there. I'll show you why. And again, I'm just trying to go through this. For the sake of time, I'm going to speed this up. Okay, here's our second area. So now we've got a yellow box, yellow and yellow. Maybe this is a 2-inch overlay. So now on this, we're going to mill this and we're going to overlay this, okay? If I were to click back onto this area, notice these dots over here. I can drag any of these dots and I can edit the area that I already measured, okay? So now I'm dragging these around because I had an oops or I messed up, right? I can get very granular with these. If I click into it, notice that another 2 dots will appear here, and now I can drag and drop any of those. So now I've cut out that island, right? And we've removed a little bit of square footage. Alternatively, if I click on this icon here, and now I'm going to start clicking inside the area that I've already measured, okay? We're going to get asked, do you want to create an island? Watch my square footage here at 25,362. If I hit OK, 24,890. We have now cut out this area, this island area, from within our measurement. So now you can subtract areas from areas that you've measured, okay? The other thing that I'm going to show you is I'm going to click into this, and I'm going to click this line length. Okay. Now we're going to show you what these distances are. So every dot that I put, and granted, these curves are probably not the best use case for this, but these curves will show the distances between each dot that we put in. So maybe I want to show this one, right? Again, it's going to show the distance around each of these curved features. So this is more, if I'm doing, let me close this out. Get rid of those, right? If I'm doing just a square here, this is a really good instance to dial in what I need. Click on this, show line length. Now I'm 193 by 169, okay? And I can stretch this out just a little bit. So I'm 169, I went a little too far. I'd zoom in and do that. But now you can have multiple areas. What if I want to delete this area? I'm just going to click on it and I'm going to hit the backspace key on my keyboard. And now we've subtracted that area from our overall and it's gone. Okay. A very common question is, let's say I'm measuring an area and I sneeze and I accidentally click way over here. That's okay. Just finish the measurement that you would do otherwise, right? And then just like I showed you before, I'm going to click back into here and I'm going to drag this guy back to where I need it to be. So there's not an undo button or an oops button or a sneeze button. It's just finish out what you're measuring and then you can drag that back to where you need it to be. Again, watch my measurement over here, 51,000. I'm going to click on this and hit delete and that's going to go away. So there's a couple tips and tricks. I'll show you one more here. I'm going to add a marker. Again, I can change the color of these to be whatever I want. I'm going to add, here's a drain, right? Same thing. If I click on this marker, I can give this a name, drain box. And now when I drag this, you'll see that this line stays with that marker. So if you have a bunch of different markers on here with a name on it, it's always going to be connected so that you know which description goes with which box. If I don't want to show the area, square footage and stuff, I can click on these X's and get rid of them, right? I can click on this one and get rid of it. So now I just have two areas. Maybe I can use my statement of work to say yellow area is milling, blue area is milling, yellow area is overlay, however you want to do that. So quite a few functionality features in here. I'm going to show you one more that's really cool in my opinion. So here we have our milling. I'm going to send this to my customer. Yep, this looks great. Send. Okay, my customer comes back to me and says they want to make some changes. They want to do a little bit more area or they want to remove area. If I move this back to draft status, come back into this map, these areas are still active. So when I click into them, I can now edit or move any of these that I need, right? Or add new areas. So I'll just do a quick one here. It's going to add that area to my total square footage. And now I've got a whole other area. I don't have to start from scratch. All of this is preserved for you. And now when I save, we'll go from 36 to 48. And we are underway. I can send that back out to my customer. So some cool features in here, measuring multiple areas, giving it multiple colors, naming the areas, showing lengths, creating islands, doing lines and areas and markers, whatever you need to do for those types of projects that you're working on. Hope that helps. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.